So this is the first in our kind of new Tuesday webinar series where we're going to try and run short, kind of bite-sized 20-minute webinar sessions just to try and give you little snippets of information and knowledge about using Pathways at your colleges. And the one today, we're going to focus on Pathways 1, and it's called Pathways 1 Tips and Tricks, where we're just going to look at some of the things in the settings or some little features that you might not know about that we can kind of help you to try and get the most out of Pathways. So today we've got 4 things we're going to look at. We're going to look at customizing the study routes, qualifications, managing your auto-map pages, creating custom and mapping your apprenticeships within Pathways 1. I'm going to talk about the first couple, and then Tim's going to take over and talk about the second 2 items on there as well. Apparently, Tim's was telling me my internet's kind of a little bit kind of juddery this morning. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn off my video while I talk, just to ensure you kind of you can kind of get a good sense of what I'm saying. So I'm just going to turn off my video. But I promise I'm still here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with talking about customizing the study route qualifications. So what do I mean by that? Well, we've got a few demo pages set up just to kind of go through things today. And we've got this kind of fictional college called St. Miles College. And this is a page for the BTEC Information Technology course. So if I scroll down, we can see that we have Pathways embedded within this course page. So Pathways 1, as you kind of seen it before. And what I want to do, I want to talk about study route qualifications. So as a user, if I'm interested in being a programmer, I can click into the tool and I can see the first screen, which gives more detailed labour market information. I can click again to see regional information. And then the screen is what we want to look at today. And this is the screen that shows the potential study routes that people might take, looking at level 3 qualifications through to higher education and on to this particular career. And it's this set of level 3 qualifications that you can edit and amend within your Pathways admin area. So for instance, if you don't offer T-levels at your college, you can choose to switch those off. So if I just go into the admin section, so Pathways section for our fictional college, St. Miles College, I'm going to go into settings. And if you scroll down, you will see that we have this section called study routes. So this is where you can choose 3 quality types, but just 1. So this is A-level, vocational, T-level, as we're seeing here on the Pathways 1 instance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to unlink T-levels, and I'm going to press save. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to refresh my widget. And now if I come to that study route screen again, we will see that T-levels have gone from this study route. We're just seeing A-levels and vocational. Now, it may be that your college doesn't offer A-levels, so we might want to drop that one out as well. So let's remove A-levels. And this time I'm going to add in access to HE. So I'm going to press add. I'm going to come down and press save. So if I now refresh the page again, we will see that Pathways 1 is now showing potential study routes from vocational qualifications, access to HE, through higher education and on to this particular career. And that's it really. It's kind of that simple. You just tweak it in your settings and it comes out in the Pathways 1 widget like this. Now, I also want to make you aware that this also takes effect within Pathways Explore as well. Now, we're not going to spend as much time talking about Pathways Explore today, except I just wanted to show you where these study routes come out in Pathways Explore. So if I come to Pathways Explore, click on a career of interest, I'm going to click on biology. If I scroll down, and after we have the box about related courses and apprenticeships, you can see that I've selected to show common study routes within Pathways Explore. And you can see these are coming out vocational qualifications and access to HE in line with the settings that we just kind of applied within our settings screen. So that's really it. That's how you kind of manage those study route qualifications. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about was managing your auto-mapped pages. Now, I guess to kind of just to start with, I should really talk about what auto-mapping is. Now, when you're using Pathways 1, there's a couple of different ways that you can put Pathways into your website. Now, let's say you're a college that has quite a lot of courses. Let's say you have over 100 courses. Now, you could go into the CMS for every one of those course pages and add the snippet of embed code to make Pathways 1 embed in all those course pages. And that would work just fine. But using auto mapping, you can just add a single piece of embed code into your course webpage template. And then you can use the Pathways system to say which version of Pathways should be shown on each of those course pages. And if we've helped you get Pathways set up at your college, then most likely we've done it using auto mapping, because it means we can get involved, we can help you with that kind of mapping process. So if I show you what all that means. So again, I've got another demo page here. It's an applied science page, and currently we have no Pathways instance embedded on this page. But what we do have is the Pathways auto mapping embed code sitting there behind the scenes, waiting to know if we tell it to show a particular version of Pathways on this page. So if I come into my admin area where I was, I'm going to go into products. I'm now going to go into Pathways 1. I'm going to go to more embed options and choose auto mapping. Now here, we've already got a code in the table because it's powering the other pages that we're using on this demo this morning. But what I want to do, I want to create a new auto mapping for my science page. So I'm going to press new mapping. I'm going to come to my page and copy the URL. I'm going to paste it in there, and I'm going to say, okay, on this applied science page, I want it to be mapped to courses. I want it to map to vocational qualifications, and then I want to map to the applied science subject. And press save. And you can see that that's added a new row to my table here. So if I come back to my page and I refresh it, we can see that Pathways is now coming out on this page. So I haven't had to add any embed code. I've not had to change any templates. All I had to do was just use the Pathways admin to kind of manage these auto mapping settings. Now, the main reason, I guess, for showing you this today is, sure, you can add new ones, but more often than not, if you're using auto mapping, we've already done it for you. So there's lots of courses already in this table of auto mapped courses. Now, over the year, it's very likely that some of your course pages might change. Either you've got new ones to be added, or maybe some of your URLs have changed that are running different courses. So you can come here and kind of make those amendments yourself. I mean, you're very welcome to come to us and ask us to do it for you, but you do have the power to kind of control that as well. So looking at that science one I just made, if I just choose to edit that, now let's just assume that the science page is now, the URL is now changed and it's now course science -2. So if I now press save, that now means that the Pathways widget is now working and coming out on that course page where the URL has got that -2 in it. Now, just looking at what I've done here, in this column here called status, you can see the change I've just made is actually returning a 404 code. Now, you might not know what that means, but essentially 404 means page not found. So because I've just added actually just a dummy URL, it's telling me, hang on a minute, that's not a valid URL or an active URL. So you might want to look at that. So if I just come back and edit that screen again, and I'm going to remove the -2 and press save, we're now going to see that it's now returning a 200 status, which means it's working and it's kind of back to normal again. But there may be other instances you want to amend the auto mapping as well. So let's say we did set all this up for you and we created your applied science kind of page, but it may be you'd actually rather show the job sector in science on that web page rather than the vocational applied science course. So you can tweak that as well. So if we come back into that edit screen and we say this time we want to map it to a job sector, we want to map it to the science job sector, and if I press save, I'm now going to come back to that page and I'm going to refresh. And now, rather than showing the vocational applied science version of Pathways, we're now showing the job sector for science. So, and again, I've made no embed code changes. I've made no template or CMS changes. It's all managed in your Pathways admin system. And that's pretty much it, really. Just a quick overview, just to show you the auto mapping options and how you can kind of go in and amend those. So now I'm going to pass over to Tim, who's going to talk about custom widgets and apprenticeships within Pathways 1.
Okay, great. Thanks, Steve. I'm just going to grab the screen. Hi, everyone, by the way. There we go. Everyone, can we see that, Steve?
Yep, all good.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to talk initially. I'm going to talk a bit about custom widgets. Now, some of you might already be using Pathways with custom widgets within Pathways. For those of you that aren't using it, just to give you a bit of an overview, essentially what they do, or what you can do with them, is you can add your own set of occupations to an individual instance of Pathways, rather than kind of using the preset data-driven instances that you see matched against your courses. And there's a couple of reasons why you might want to use a custom widget. The first might be, for example, you might have a course leader come to you and say that the instance of Pathways that's showing on their course page, which is obviously using kind of the national data, perhaps isn't showing what normally happens, where people go on to go and do, having studied that particular course. In which case you can kind of say, well, okay, that's fine. We can create a custom widget. If you let us know what occupations people go on to do, having studied your particular course, then we can kind of add them in a custom widget. Another instance where using a custom widget might be useful is if, say, you are writing a news, maybe doing a marketing campaign on STEM courses, and you might be have a kind of a news article that you're writing, or a blog post that you're writing. And what you might want to do is, alongside that article, you might also want to add an instance of Pathways that shows what kind of STEM occupations people go on and do, having studied particular kind of STEM subjects, in which case, it might be quite useful to use a custom widget. So that's what it is, and that's the kind of reasons for using it. I'm just going to show you an example of one here. So we've got a page here that we've created for horticulture. And if I scroll down, you'll see that we have embedded Pathways into this page. And actually, this is a custom widget of Pathways. So these are all custom jobs that we have added into Pathways. And what I can do now is I can quickly just show you how initially we can amend this custom widget, and then I'll show you how to actually create a new one. So we're just going to go into the Pathways account, and I'm going to click on products, and then Pathways 1. And then I'm going to click on custom widgets here. And then what you'll see here is that we have our horticulture custom widget showing here, and it's showing that we have 7 jobs associated to it. And what we can do is we can edit this. Oh, that's a bit annoying. Sorry, that's Zara. Just gonna shut that. Sorry about that. Let me just get back to the screen. So yeah, so what I'm now going to do is just edit this particular window, this particular instance here, by clicking on the edit screen here, the edit button. And here what you can see are all the different occupations that we have associated to this particular instance, and we can choose to kind of change these around if we wanted to. So for example, we might decide that gardeners and landscape gardeners needs to go before environmental professionals, so we can just kind of move that around there, and that then goes before it. And we might also say that actually there's another occupation we want to add, and we just do that literally by clicking on this button here and then finding another suitable occupation. So we just add that. And I'm just also going to move that one up. Go to there. And then if I come down to the bottom here, we can see that those changes are reflected in the preview. So here we can see that we've got gardeners and landscape gardeners now second, and also there's the new occupation that I've added. And also if we come back to the screen that I showed you initially and I refresh that, we can then see that custom widget has also been updated here, with gardeners here second, and then biological scientists have also been added. So that's us amending a custom widget. If we wanted to create a new one, we just literally we click on custom widgets here, we select new widget, and then what you'll see first is you'll see a selection of kind of preset options here, which you can choose to click on, and you can kind of amend those how you like. In this instance, we're just going to create a new one from scratch, and we're going to call it STEM. It comes up there, STEM careers. and just press save. And you'll notice here at this stage that the custom widget has actually got no occupations associated to it at all, but we can start adding them by clicking on this button here, finding a relevant STEM occupation. Let's go for that one, add, I think just finding another one, and like that. And we essentially just start building up our custom widget, in this case with all the different STEM options that we want to add to it. And then obviously if you wanted to then to embed it, you can either embed it the kind of the normal way, which is, you know, via a content management system, and you just kind of stick this in, copy this code and add it just like you would normally. Or as Steve showed you earlier on, you might be using auto mapping, in which case you would just map it in the kind of auto mapping way. So that's sort of custom widgets. Now what I want to talk to you a bit about is mapping your apprenticeships to Pathways One. So what I'm going to show you is just show you what I mean by that. So I'm just going to go through to it's actually the last screen on Pathways One. So here is our kind of apprenticeship options screen, and what we have here is all the different apprenticeship standards that relates to this particular occupation up here. So what happens by default is that all these different standards, if we were to click on them, what they do is they go directly to the Institute for Apprenticeship Standards website. But what you'll also notice here is we've got a couple here that are saying that this particular college offers this apprenticeship as well. So, and if we were to click on those, that would then take you directly to that particular course page on the college website. And so I mean, this is quite new, so you may not have seen this before. And what I'm going to do is just quickly show you how that comes about. So I'm going to click on the courses tab now. So if you're using Explore, then this courses section will be completely full because we will have imported all your courses already. And actually, if you are using Explore, then that apprenticeship screen will be updated already for you because we will have added those apprenticeships into your courses. If you're not using Explore and you have got apprenticeships on that you want to kind of advertise on Pathways One, you want to add to Pathways One, then what you'll need to do is actually you'll need to add that course page to this section here. And the way that you do that is you literally just go new course like this. And then we decide, actually, I'll just kind of pop back to here. So we'll say we've got a new course that's related to this standard here, this software tester standard. What I'll do is just come back to here and we just go, okay, so the course title is software tester. And then we just need to grab a URL. So this is obviously the URL that the apprenticeship standard or the apprenticeship would actually be sitting on your website, the course page. Just going to grab one for the moment. And then we select apprenticeship as a type. And then what we need to do is actually just tell Pathways or just find that particular apprenticeship on Pathways so that they know that it's kind of referencing the right one. So here we just go software tester. We go find it. And we can see, we can kind of make sure it's the right one by looking at the reference here and checking the level. We say, yep, that's the correct one, so we'll use it. And then we just press save here. And then if I come back to courses, what you'll see is now software tester has now been added to this course list. And then I'll just come back to here, to the original page I was looking at. I'll just refresh. And then take us to that fifth screen again. What you'll now see is that software tester has now been highlighted as a course that as an apprenticeship course that this college offers, and this would now link directly to that course page on your website. So yeah, that's kind of it for mapping your apprenticeships and actually for us as a whole. So hopefully, you know, you've picked up some kind of ideas of some little bits of nuggets and stuff that that Pathways entails. Some of the stuff that we've covered I know is a little bit niche. So hopefully it's been useful.